Hello, my name is Patak. Welcome to Masters of the System, which is going to be a look at the Sega Master System's prolific speedrunners. So, in the beginning of 2024, Aaron2U2 created the NES prolific speedrunner list. This has made a lot of speedrunners very curious and has widely been regarded as a good move. A lot of activity's been going on NES speedrunning boards. A number of us in the Sega crew have been getting involved. JKL, for example, made a lot of work in getting up towards top 10. More recently, Waxhouse, in the Sega crew, has made a list for the Genesis, and after this, JK Loser said, could I make one for the Sega Master System runners? Now, bear in mind, Sega Master System has far fewer runs and runners than the NES, so I'm grateful really because I can get by without doing any programming on spreadsheets, and I've done some data entry before. I've made the Wheel of Fortune Deluxe SNES answer calculator, but I will warn any of you who are interested in looking at the spreadsheet. The result of this was down and dirty. It took 48 hours, and anyone who's interested in adding the script to it, try not to cry your eyes out because I've left a bit of a mess. Let's go into how it works. Aaron2U2's original NES ranking assigned a game value and awards points on a curve relative to that. So the most valuable games, world records, will be worth 1600 points, and for the least valuable games, world records are worth only 10. And it was a really good idea. In practice, it tends to deflate the value of exceptionally popular and obscure games. There was a lot more activity on the stuff in the middle. Now the Genesis list is very different by comparison. It's far flatter, and you gain as many points as there are people on a board minus your rank. So the top runner in a 50-strong game mostly will get 50 points. Now the Master System, I've tried to go somewhere between these two extremes. And I want you to bear in mind, in a perfect world, every runner would have a time on every board, we would have perfect data, and we could just make comparisons very clearly. But since that isn't the case, it doesn't matter what formula we use, it doesn't matter what maths we use, we can't fill in the gaps perfectly. So if you want to make this formula better in the end, the best thing to do is join more boards and do more runs. Speaking of which, we've got 197 tracked Sega Master System boards on speedrun.com at the moment. I will simply tell you that there are going to be 10 or 15 more added in the future. I won't tell you why, that's a surprise. But there are so far only just 533 runners, and 383 of you out there have submitted just one run. Likely, at least one or two of you or more are watching this video. Hi there. If you see the results and you don't like them, run more games, submit more games, that's it. 51 people have submitted 4 games or more, and only 16 have submitted 10 or more. So how are we going to calculate these results today? Well, step 1, we're going to calculate the score for each run of each player. We're going to do that by comparing it to the world record and giving a score by percentage. So as a simple example, the world record for Castle of Illusion is 1312. My PB is 1343, and that expresses as a 96.23 percentage. That's going to score 962 points. So it's like a decathlon style scoring system. And by doing that, we avoid punishing runners of popular games, and by using a percentage, we have a slight scaling effect to account for longer and shorter runs. The best example of that is the most popular Sega Master System speedrun, which is the Zool Credit Warp. Dozens of people all have a 9.96. They're all going to get 996 points. Nobody's going to be punished for being 15th as opposed to 10th. Step 2. To go a small way to figuring out the information gap to a perfect board, we're going to assign a scaling multiplier to each run based on how many runners a board has. We'll call that px. Scaling is calculated as the run score times the value of a tenth of the leaderboard volume plus 1, capped at 20. So, a board with one runner will give 1100 points for the world record. A board with 20 runners or more will give 3000 points for the world record, and that multiplication will scale down the runs. Now my intent with this is twofold. I want to incentivize runs of existing popular games, and I want to incentivize people to join sparse boards with only 1 or 2 runners, because you can see that if you get 4, 5, 6 people joining a board straight away, that will really scale up points-wise, and you'll suddenly get a big difference in the information gap. So hopefully that will help optimize the boards in future, and create the possibility of a runner gaining by their raw score and by displacing an unoptimized world record. Punishing runners like that is better than assigning a deflated game value, especially when we've got such few data points to work with. And it somewhat accounts for Zool and the ease credit warps, which are very popular, and which otherwise would give masses of distorted points. Now we can also get a better idea of who is, frame for frame, the strongest of all, with data points such as the average raw score over 1,000, the PX average or the PX sum, or the world record count. And the rundown here will focus on each of those where it's relevant. As we've mentioned, PX, which is the number of runners on board, varies from 1 to 54 in the Master System, but the top 32 games have a PX of 10 or more, so those boards are very reliable. That said, even the boards down to the 150 level, with 2 runners, aren't completely inaccurate. 2 runners can tend to spur each other on, one can lead to make new optimizations. It's not the worst thing in the world, but please bear in mind, this is all a bit of fun. I have a background in chess and a layman's understanding of ELO ratings, and that's about it. I'm not a mathematician or a statistician, I'm just an amateur. And you might see ways to make this more accurate, but it's a fun economy to inspire new runs and runners. And as a Star Trek fan, if I may say, don't attach value to your points, attach value to what you do and create, let your points flow from that. And now it's countdown time, so if you want to put on some fun Master System music in the background, feel free. I'm using a potato laptop, so I'm not going to do that. We're going to kick off in the 6,000 point range, which means you have to have run 3 games or more. Number 58 is Strackle, who is the world record holder in Alex Kidd in Miracle World 2, which is a homebrew created by Ian from SMS 8-bit, and Spider-Man Return of the Sinister Six, as well as having a top time in Alex Kidd in Miracle World. His average raw score is 995, which is mammoth. Number 57 is Chris the Hedgehog, a French speedrunner with 6,283 points over 4 games, world record in Aztec Adventure, a top time in Kung Fu Kid, and an average raw score of 902. Not very far up the road is number 56, Canadian Gamer, 6,339 points on 3 games, with a higher scoring game of Road Rash giving 4th place, and an average raw score of 928. Number 55, Maze in Power, 6,348 points with 3 games, highest scoring game Transbot in 3rd place, and his average raw score is 947. Number 54, Cha-Cha Max, 6,656 points in 3 games, a former world record holder in the Lucky Dime Caper where he's still 3rd now, and his average raw score is 961. Number 53, Hurricane Mixer, 6,776 points in 4 games, 4th place in Black Belt with a raw score of 903 average. Number 52, TRU 187, 6,898 points in just 3 games, 19th place in Sonic Chaos with an average raw score of 818. Number 51, a legend in the Master System speedrunning community, Adame K, 6,924 points, disappointing close to 69,420, with 3 games. Highest scoring game is Sonic the Hedgehog, where he's 20th place, and his average raw score is 884. Number 50, Worcester, 7,200 points in just 3 games, but he has the world record in all of them. Here's where the scaling comes into effect. World record in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic Spinball, and Ease the Vanished Omens, which is incredibly hard, and his average raw score is 1,000, so you can't get better than that. Into the top 50, number 49 is Croonan, 7,237 points over 5 games, 3 world records in Bomber Raid, Cloudmaster, and Vigilante, average raw score 991. Number 48, Amok Gaming, 7,331 points over 6 games, with a highest scoring game of Submarine Attack, 11th place. His average raw score is 525. Number 47, F for Heart, 7,343 points over 4 games. Highest scoring game, Sonic the Hedgehog, he's in 32nd place, and his average raw score is 667. Number 46, a legend, Bald Nate, 7,360 points over 5 games. The world record holder in putt and putter, top time in G-Lock Air Battle, and his average raw score is 800. Number 45, Icy, 7,464 points over 3 games. His highest scoring game is Sonic Chaos, where he's 3rd, and his average raw score is 880. Number 44, Nerdy Nester, 7,504 points over 5 games. The world record holder in Mortal Kombat 2 and a top time in Paperboy, and his average raw score is 815. Number 43, PBR64, 7,605 points over 3 games. 24th in Sonic Chaos, average raw score of 904. Number 42, Steve Zero, 7,757 points over 6 games. World record holder in Buggy Run, California Games 2 and Pit Pot, and an average raw score not to be sneezed at of 913. Number 41, GTNTG, try saying that with a mouthful, 7,974 points over just 3 games. 12th in Sonic Chaos, raw score 949 on average. Number 40, Cresm into the 8,000s here, 8,159 points. The world record holder in Sonic Chaos, a top time in Sonic the Hedgehog, and an average raw score of 969. Number 39, Damdai, 8,262 points over 5 games. The world record holder in Rampage, which featured in last year's Master 8. Top time in Kung Fu Kid, and an average raw score of 939. Number 38, Felipe Nascimento 83, almost making me break the horizontal. 8,279 points over 6 games. 3rd place in Mortal Kombat 3, with an average raw score of 720. Number 37, Megami and Finny, 8,663 points over 7 games. Highest scoring, 2nd place in the Underran Asterix in the Secret Mission. His highest average raw score is 715. Number 36, Legend of Sega Crew, Paul Saltine, 8,686 points in 5 games. His highest score is Dynamite Ducks, where he's 2nd place, and his raw score average is 862. Number 35, the wonderfully named Sega Junkie, 8,729 points in 4 games, with a top 10 position in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and his average raw is 852. Number 34, Larvistar, 8,781 points over just 3 games, including 3rd in Zool, with an average raw score of 976. Number 33, Cronoon, 8,957 points in 4 games. 3rd in Dynamite Heady, which is currently in the Master 8 number 4, and an average raw score of 909. Number 32, our Lord Saviour of the Sega Crew, Booster Shane. Boosty has 9,289 points in 7 games, including 4th place in Shinobi, and an average of 745. Number 31, one of the big boys on the Master System, is Red Pepper with 9,347 points in 6 games, and in just those 6 games he has 4 world records: Alien Syndrome, Captain Silver, Fantasy Zone, and Ghostbusters, and his average raw score is an astonishing 993. Do not mess with him. Number 30, Peanut Fan 22, 9,446 points in 7 games, 4th place in Paperboy, 721 average raw score. Into the top 30 we go, and we've got Izzy the Penguin with 9,968 points, just shy of the 10,000 point barrier with 5 games. 2nd place in Ease, and an average raw score of 926. Breaking the 10,000 point barrier, another legend is Alexchenko with 10,344 points, just 4 games, but he has 3 world records, including Alex Kidd in Miracle World and Land of Illusion, which are 2 of the most prestigious world records on the Master System, and you can't argue with the average raw score of 987. He is an absolute beast. Number 27, and Blue R, also known as Kuka, 11,238 points over 6 games. Second place in California games with an average raw of 919. Number 26, another legend of the Master System, Tiagin, 11,491 points over 7 games. Current world record in the Incredible Hulk. Second place former world record in Castle of Illusion and Earthworm Jim. Average raw score of 928. Top 25, it's my good buddy Sacrion. 11,684 points over 6 games. World records in Kensington, not for long, and the Terminator. Second place in Batman Returns and Ninja Gaiden. Average raw score 943. Number 24, Infinite Mystery, one of the most well-known multi-game racers. 12,178 points over 10 games. 13th place in X-Men Mojo World and an average raw score of 500. Number 23, Fozon, a legend of Sonic Gaming, 12,432 points over 5 games. The world record in Sonic the Hedgehog and Zool, and don't let what we talked about with Zool fool you earlier. He has got the world record in Zool, and everybody else, like 40 people, have got a frame behind. That's no mean feat. Second place in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, average raw score 907. Number 22, Alex Station 97, you might also know him as King Alec 97, 13,281 points over 7 games. The world record holder in columns, which is again far from easy. Second place in Sonic the Hedgehog, and an average raw score of 832. Number 21, Aloysius 89, 13,326 points over 7 games. Sixth place in Mercs, and an average raw of 855. Number 20, a legend of Sega in general, Just Taco, 13,411 points over 8 games. The world record holder in Deep Duck Trouble, and also a world record holder in Quackshot on the Genesis. Average raw score 720. Into the top 20, we have a Brazilian legend, Saulo Andrade, 15,487 points, 7 games, well known in races. Third place in Dynamite Ducks, third place in Asterix, and 906 average raw score. Number 18, Dodon Krevedko. I must admit I never heard of this racer before today, but now you know him as well. 17,018 points across 16 games, truly prolific. World records in Scramble Spirits and Super Tennis, and second place in Bank Panic, and a wonderful average raw score of 669. Nice. Number 17, Mammon, a French speedrunner, 17,335 points across 8 games. An excellent all-round runner. Second place in Hook and Snail Maze. Fourth in Sonic Chaos, and fifth in Sonic the Hedgehog. Average raw score 925. Number 16, the racer himself, JFred99, 17,904 points over 8 games. World record in Astro Warrior, Outrun 3D, and Transport. Second place in Hang On and Submarine Attack, and third place in Outrun. Average raw score 943. Number 15, another legend of Master System running, Mephistus, 18,053 points over 9 games. Third place in Alex Kidd in Shinobi World, Alien Syndrome, and Castellar Art in Bun, an average raw score of 897. Number 14, another runner I must admit I never heard of until today, but he's clearly underrated, Rob PF. 18,114 points over 11 games, and 6 beefy world records in eSWAT, Golden Axe, Hokuto no Ken, R-Type, Renegade, and Shadow Dancer. Check those out. His average raw score is 973. He is not messing about. Number 13, on the road to 1,000 speed games, it's Joe Polito. 19,341 points over 13 games. World record in Great Basketball, and second place in as wide-ranging of games as Buggy Run, Sega Chess and Pit Pot. Average raw score, 835. Number 12, not quite cracking the top 10, although I know he's going to want to do that, is JK Loser. Everyone knows JKL. 19,809 points over 11 games. World record in Bonanza Brothers, Psychic World and X-Men Mojo World. I'll just mention that I noticed there were two separate leaderboards for Bonanza Brothers. I merged them for this. Second place in Aladdin, Baku Baku Animal, Columns, Easwat, James Pond 2, Mercs, and Pot and Potter. Very wide-ranging one. Average raw score, 966. Very, very small amount up the road is a number 11, Smart Alec 24. The third most prolific NES runner, and he makes an appearance here as well. He is not to be trifled with on any console. 19,920 points in 11 games. His highest scoring game is Ys, The Vanished Omens. He is one of only 7 people in the world to complete Marvel Magnus Master System. Average raw score, 795. And now we're into the top 10. In number 10, the Canadian sensation Arnold 33-200. 21,660 points over 13 games. World record in California Games, Ghost House, Rambo, Safari Hunt, The Ninja, Tom and Jerry, and second place in Asterix, one of the most prestigious records, Laser Ghost and the Smurfs. Average raw score, 928. Very slightly up from that, number 9, the 8-bit beast, the Australian legend Tassa, 22,563 points on 11 games. World records in Alex Kidd the Lost Stars, Impossible Mission, and Lord of the Sword. Second in Sonic Blast and Golden Axe Warrior. Third in Tasmania, and fourth place in Asterix and Sonic the Hedgehog. A very well all-round runner. Average raw score 952. You can't separate 8-bit beast and Corbis, and here they are again. Number 8 is Corbis. 26,453 points over 13 games. But that doesn't tell the whole story with Corbis. He is tied for second for the most world records on the Master System. Out of 13 games, he has world record in 9 of them, and he's grinding for a couple of other ones. Let's run it down. He is the world record holder in Asterix, Castle of Illusion, Dynamite Ducks, Golden Axe Warrior, Golvelius, The Lucky Dime Caper, Not for Long, Matter of Darkness, Mercs, and Ninja Gaiden. This is one of the strongest resumes on the Master System. Pound for pound, this is one of the strongest speedrunners you could meet, so go and check his runs out. His average raw score is 974. Number 7, the PhD of Wonderboy, Berlin Dude 1, 27,133 points over 14 games. He also has 9 world records. Alex Kidd in Shinobi World, Shoplifter, Double Dragon, The Flintstones, Shinobi, Wonderboy, Wonderboy in Monsterland, Wonderboy 3 The Dragon's Trap, and Wonderboy in Monster World. I think this guy likes Wonderboy. I'll also mention his tutorials for games are like PhD dissertations, they are phenomenal. You can watch one of those and learn so much. I highly recommend. Average raw score 973. Number 6, Alpha Nerd, one of the most prolific speedrunners. 31,372 points across 20 games. Really diving into the Master System. World record in Desert Speed Trap with Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. Special Criminal Investigation and Submarine Attack. Second place in Transbot. Third place in Road Rash. And ranked 6th overall for most prolific number of games. His average raw score is 740. Number 5, a big jump to Master System Marceau. 37,898 points over 26 games. 5 world records to boot. In Alex Kidd BMX Trial, Battle Outrun, Chase HQ, Outrun, and Outrun 3D, a very strong racer. Second place as well in Road Rash and SCI, ranked 5th For the most prolific for number of games ran, average raw score 734. Number 4, yours truly, 45,803 points over 27 games, tied first for the most world records on the Master System. Arcade smash hits, Batman Returns, Dracula, James Bond 2, Laser Ghost, Lemmings, Marble Madness, the New Zealand Story, Populous Quartet, Sega Chess, Sega World Tournament Golf, Trivial Pursuit and World Grand Prix, although we'll definitely say that some of these are single run boards. Come and get me if you think you're hard enough. Ranked 4th the most prolific number of games, average raw score 945. They say respect your elders. In SMS terms, Rasmus is definitely one of the elders. Number 3, in the bronze medal position, Rasmus 1990, 51,132 points over 28 games. This is some CV. World record in Psycho Fox and Sitio de Pico Paramorello. Second place in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, Alex Kidd in Shinobi World, Castello Ratim Bun, The Flintstones, My Hero. Third place in one of the longest speedruns on the system, Miracle Warriors, which takes 5 hours. Fourth place in Mercs and Ninja Gaiden, and fifth place in Alex Kidd in Miracle World. Doesn't get much better than this. Average score 891, has ran the third most games on the Master System. Now, any of you watching, you might have a couple of names in mind here. You might be wondering who's number 2. He's still got it, it's B-Trim. B-Trim is the undisputed legend of Master System speedrunning. A whopping 60,222 points, has ran 32 games, has 4 world records, in Galactic Revenge, Hang On, which is one of the hardest racing games there is, Legend of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, and Pro Wrestling. Second place in Alex Kidd BMX Trial, Alex Kidd The Lost Stars, Paperboy, Psycho Fox, Street Fighter 2, Sitio de Pico Paramorello, and Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? The second most Master System prolific speedrunner with 895 raw score. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Who's number 1? It's Radman from Mars. Very, very small difference between number 1 and number 2. 61,505 points over 44 games. Radman has 14 world records. This is tied for the most on Master System. The Addams Family, Air Rescue, Back to the Future 2, Cheese Catastrophe, Cyber Shinobi, Cyborg Hunter, Dragon the Bruce Lee Story, James Bond The Duel, Montezuma's Revenge, Pit Fighter, Robocop vs. Terminator, Terminator 2, Wolf Child, and Zillion 2 The Triformation. You cannot argue with this man's CV. He has run so many games, he knows so much about the system. He is a wonderful mod, a wonderful representative of the Sega crew. His average raw score is 899, and he is currently the grand champion of Sega Master System speedrunning. So a whole congratulations to him and all the other runners. And if you have any disagreements about this list, tough. I'm not going to take any complaints. The only thing I'm going to say to you is run more games. There are so many Master System games with only 1 speedrun or 2 speedruns, and if you can bop somebody who's got a world record, you'll take away the 1,000-point ranking from them. If you optimize a game, you'll lower their score. There's plenty of points out there. If somebody is interested in doing back-end coding for this, I'll be happy to help you out with that in whatever way I can. Try not to cry too hard at my horrible spreadsheets, which I will leave in the description. And if there's interest, we'll do an update in 3 months or maybe a year. And hopefully this will inspire some people to run more games. Maybe some people just want to knock off a couple of world records. Maybe some people want to crack top 10 or improve their score. Thank you very much for watching, and until I see you next, glory to you and your spreadsheet.